connection to this, please let me know. Please let me know. So, Artemis, I mean, tell me I'm wrong that you guys are doxing and that you guys are connected to the Reddit account. Because remember when we exposed 2 days ago that this is your husband's account? It looks like he took the bait and he deleted the posts. That's weird. Why did he delete all the posts that happened in the past 2 years? After we exposed him on the live for this being your husband. This is 100% your husband. Right, Artemis? Why is it we were able to show that your husband was one of the people who was behind these accounts that were harassing us? But you're going to still deny that you've launched this campaign of fucking terror on people? You're a weirdo. You're a dangerous weirdo. You have had this veneer of respectability. Do you want to know why? Because you're a fake biology degree, bro. Now that you don't have a fake biology degree, why is anyone fucking with this lunatic? And I'm going to say this again to all of your friends in here, Artemis. Guys, what are you doing? Like, some of you know me. The people who are around Artemis, some of you know me. Would I ever do this? Some of you have wronged me who are around Artemis. I've never done anything like this to you guys. I never would do anything like this. Oh, just me being petty. Just me being petty. If this was any other culture but Irish, that your husband got to cosplay, that he got to cosplay Celtic paganism, y'all would fucking, you'd all rip him apart. All right, so I'm going to jump to round 3. And this one is kind of sinister, but I'm going to do this really quickly. Cyber got outed for quote unquote racism. Cyber did fuck up. I'll say Cyber did fuck up in one way, but I'll explain how. Cyber had noticed that Katie was being called out in a number of lives and that they were being particularly cruel to Katie. And Cyber reached out to Katie to check in. How you doing? Hey, I'm just getting into the live. First, are you okay? Katie was like, yeah, dealt with something from last night early this morning. Cyber said, okay, I don't know what happened, but it sounds horrible. I heard Maki brought up. Did they participate? And then Katie names all the people. Kale. And by the way, these names are not necessarily unfriendlies. Don't ever attack someone for being manipulated. It's very powerful.
I just want to point out that I mentioned those because those were some of the people that were involved on that particular live.
Yeah. And then says also Maki is in the chat. And so this was someone who saw someone being abused, and Cyber noticed that all the people on the panel were all white. And it made Cyber feel uncomfortable that this panel of white people were calling Katie out for what was, look, Katie's problematic, I'm problematic. I'm arguably more problematic, but like Katie's problematic. But Katie doesn't do bad fucking things.
Say I'm problematic.
Yeah.
I said from the beginning, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to be the best of me. I'm not going to be perfect. And I have no problem.
To do a call out live on Katie is fucking wild, in my opinion. And then to have a whole panel of white people up there shouting at a black trans woman is fucking wild. So Cyber was trying to help Katie. And what Cyber saw was in the mod chat in Artemis's server, they were shit talking Katie. And it just made Cyber feel uncomfortable. Cyber took screenshots of that conversation and sent them to Katie so that Katie knew how these people were talking about her. About them, sorry. Now, am I allowed to continue, Katie, or no?
Continue.
4 days go by. This is September 5th. Now on September 9th. This is where, and if Cyber's here, they can request up. This is where I think Cyber did something wrong, that I think Cyber owes Katie an apology. But let me explain why I think what happened. Here's what happened. Cyber was in a live with Artemis's husband, the Watcher. And basically what happened was Artemis's husband said something to the extent of white European or European Americans were the first real Americans. And Cyber was disturbed by that. And Cyber thought that's anti-black because European Americans is obviously having the white angle, and it's anti-indigenous to call them like the first Americans. Like, what about Native Americans? And Cyber wanted to get Artemis's attention and be like, you need to check this shit. Cyber, I didn't ask you this. You tell me if I'm wrong. But am I right in saying that you said Katie was bringing the complaint because you knew Artemis would take it more seriously? Or for some other reason?
No, that is correct. I did use Katie's name because I did think it had more weight. Katie and I have talked about this. I've apologized.
No, you haven't. No, Cyber, I would recommend you, and Cyber, I'm not going to be doing shit. I just recommend you give a sincere apology because Katie did feel like you could have just reached out and she would have said yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
We did,
go ahead, Katie.
talk, Iris. We did talk.
Okay, good.
We're cool now. Like,
So-
we're back to being friends, so.
Yeah, so Cyber did a fuck up, right? Cyber was like, I saw this person say something that was gross. I'm going to reach out to Artemis and try to put an end to it, right? But she's not going to listen to me, the white man. Would Artemis listen to a white man? No fucking chance, right? So Cyber did embellish by saying the complaint was coming from Katie so that Artemis would take it more seriously. Now, in context, you have to remember at this same time, Cyber's helping Katie because they're saying bad stuff about Katie in the chat that he believes is anti-black in nature. And so I think Cyber did an understandable fuck up. In the sense that I understand where they were coming from, but it was wrong to do, right? Here's what I talked to Katie about that I don't think Katie necessarily appreciated is Artemis reaches out to Katie. At this point in time, Artemis does not know that Katie did not actually say this. So the statement that the husband had said that European Americans were the first real Americans, that happened. But Artemis was pissed off that that was being called racist or something. Look at how Artemis talks to Katie. Why am I getting told that people are saying my husband said something anti-black? Because I'll clear this up. Someone didn't hear correctly. Katie says, immediately starts like, I guess just being nice because she's coming in hot. I have no idea. They never came from me at all. However, to show I mean it, when I say I don't hold shit against you, I'll look and ask around. I can't promise you anything, but I'll try. Artemis says, I'm being told it was anti-Wada. This has to stop. Can we talk? Now, go ahead.
So I did look in the server because obviously I was in Antiwadas at the time, and I saw nothing. And so I'm like, okay, well, there's not shit. And we did have a call, and I told her there's nothing. Continue, Iris, and I'll come in.
Now, I want you to notice how Artemis spins it, okay? Artemis now spins it to be this idea that Cyber is scapegoating Katie. But Cyber isn't pointing a finger at Katie and saying, Katie broke the vase, right? Cyber was trying to use Katie's name to get Artemis to care. And when you really fucking think about it, if she was the type of person who would care to begin with, he wouldn't have had to add that someone from the BIPOC community agrees with him to get her to care. And so watch how Artemis now tries to make Katie view Cyber as someone who's trying to harm Katie, while at the same time, Cyber's literally the only one in the server trying to help Katie. But what happened in this 4 to 5 day period is Artemis learned that Cyber was likely looking into the biology degree. And that's what made Artemis want to try to turn on Cyber and get anything she could to get him kicked the fuck out. So she then sends a note. Go ahead.
I want to point out too, in the context, and this is for those who know, they know, during this time was that whole week-long thing when people are trying to drag me and everything else. So I'm also running off of, I don't know who to fucking trust because every motherfucker is a suspect to me during this whole time.
Because you're going to notice that Katie, like, I want to be so fucking for real. Artemis at this point believes that one or two black people, Antiwata and or Katie, have brought a complaint about the husband. Artemis didn't say, what was the issue? Artemis didn't say, hey, can you look into this for me? Artemis didn't say, hey, I want to make sure that my husband didn't say something that was wrong and harmful. Artemis said, someone didn't hear correctly. This has to stop. Artemis wants to stop a conversation about the husband being anti-black and anti-indigenous, even though he said European Americans were the first real Americans. This is the message that Cyber had sent, and I'll show it to you, where he does leverage Katie without question. So I didn't catch exactly what was said because I was working, but I received a message from Katie stating that some of Auntie Wada's friendlies were watching Katie's live and were questioning if what Watcher, Artemis's husband, had said could have been viewed as being anti-black or anti-indigenous. Immediately messaged Artemis. It was addressed. I messaged Katie back. To my knowledge, sounds like things were cleared up. Now, Artemis directs Katie, did this interaction happen at all? Because I desperately need to know. And then, how long after that? Hang on. Let me just get the time right. 5:11. So now, 5:11, half an hour after, Katie says, I have nothing to hide. Artemis says, I know you've nothing to hide. I'm just getting all my evidence together. At this point, Artemis tells Katie that she wants to get evidence on Cyber to get him kicked out of the server so everyone else would agree with kicking him out. And then Artemis plants the seed, which I think poisons Katie's mind, and says, I'm irritated that they are making you this